It's the morning of June 6th, 2017. I've awakened before my family and sit at the window of our cabin, looking out at these buildings. We arrived by ship as we slept. This is Havana, Cuba. I'm back for a second time. It's been many years since my first visit, but I easily remember when. It was 23 years ago. My wife and I were here, her third trip at the time, pregnant with our first child. This spring, that first child graduated from college. We've arrived in Cuba on the day of his birthday. He's 23 today. So does that mean it's his second time here as well? I don't know. I've joked with him more than once that he's been here before. Unfortunately, one sister-in-law and her family couldn't make the trip with us, but we're here with the other 3 of my wife's siblings and their families, 24 of us in all, to celebrate her older brother's 50th birthday. That alone is reason enough to make this trip worth it, but it gets even more special. My wife's family is from Cuba. Her 2 older sisters were born here, and the 2 boys and my wife were born in the United States. Today, her parents, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, will step onto Cuban soil for the first time in 52 years, and they'll get to do it with their children and grandchildren. In a way, for all of us, it's a homecoming, a connection to our roots and heritage.
Outside Havana's presidential palace, hundreds of thousands rally at the call of revolutionary leader Fidel Castro.
"52 years ago, the Sori and Sevilla families were forced from their farms and told their lifetime of hard work and achievement meant nothing. I can't help but wonder what they feel as 3 generations now gather in the square across from where we just disembarked from the boat. We gather there as a testament of God's faithfulness. A walking tour has been pre-approved for us, and for the next 2 to 3 hours, we will be walking the streets of Havana and getting the spiel. I'm distracted, but it's not because I don't want to listen. Rather, instead, I'm more interested in my in-laws' reaction to the sights and sounds of the mother they haven't seen in half a century.
Something they move around on you and they move to you. just put in a corner one or one will be enough. Sometimes you will see the musicians as well, okay, that they don't mind that I'm explaining something, they will run on you and they will put you down myself one more time and then we'll put it, okay? I'll be the tour guide and then we'll have over there that will show you a little bit about
Many things have changed here since the Sori and Sevilla families were forced from their homes by the Castro regime. Their farms were declared to then be the property of the Cuban Communist government. They left with only the clothes on their back and a few small possessions to begin a new life in the United States. But God was with them and gave them the strength and fortitude to rebuild their lives and family. As we walk the streets, it's not hard to notice the mostly clean and painted look of the city, very different from the first time I was here. But then again, it's no surprise. This area of the city sees probably hundreds, if not thousands, of tourists a year. I'm pretty sure if I were to somehow get out of this part of town and venture further inland, the real picture of the poverty and desperation here would become more apparent. But it's not all smoke and mirrors. There definitely is evidence of progress and change here as well. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Cuba so far?
Oh, Havana.
Libs, you liking the buildings and the architecture?
Yeah.
This is kind of your roots.
I know.
That's neat.
I just wonder how those Spaniards did it back then in 1500, these big buildings like this.
Yeah.
So 52 years here and seeing all of this, I love it. And learning about all of this too, because I live in Camagüey, so I will come to Havana and visit. My mom will bring me a lot. My dad worked here. So, but we usually stay by the capital.
Yeah.
That area there. So, and the Malecon, all of that, yeah, all of that. So,
How does it feel to be back?
it feels good, but it feels strange,
Yeah.
you know, to be back after so many years.
Okay, number 11. 11.
But I had to come back. I had to go to Camagüey. That's what I really wanted. But this is very colonial, very pretty. So, and I'm glad we all got to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So, and 52 years is a long time. I was 19 when I left.
Did you come to Havana very often?
Mom and Dad come sometimes. Dad used to work here when he was from the Sindicato Bancario, represented the Bank of Canada. He used to work here and then he'd go to Camagüey.
Oh, so he like had an apartment here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so then we will come. And then that's why we go so much in Varadero. Because Varadero is very close.
You'd meet him there.
And yeah. So, but I was in Havana a lot.
Okay. So do you remember any of these areas?
No, because I never came to this area.
Okay.
We
So
were
we're
more
like Malecon or whatever.
Malecon, Capital, all that area is where I always was. Not this colonial
Okay.
area. know, this is good. I learned something.
The early part of the evening is spent walking the streets, taking in the incredibly beautiful architecture, sights, and sounds. I see many outdoor cafes and many musicians. Story is a huge part of who God has made us to be in all cultures, times past, present, and surely the future to come celebrates story through various means, one of the most powerful tools of story and expression being music. And did I mention the beautiful game? For as many outdoor music performances I come across the same in the form of this wonderful competition. From dusty dirt fields, asphalt and cement plazas, to multi-million-dollar stadiums with their pristine royal-like pitch, this is one common activity shared across nations. Our first night winds down with some of our group taking taxi rides in refurbished decades-old cars. They're everywhere. We find cars as old as 1923. In many ways, this once prosperous and friendly neighbor of ours suddenly experienced a stoppage of time. For my in-laws, family has arrived tonight to Havana to see cousins who they have not laid eyes on in 52 years. We're meeting in moments in the restaurant. Then it's off to bed and right back at it tomorrow for a second day. How does it feel to be back?
It feels good, but it feels strange.
Yeah.
You know, to be back after so many years.
Okay, number 11. 11.
But I had to come back. I had to go to Camagüey. That's what I really wanted.